Hey, I'm here with a list of demands. Follow the show wherever you listen. Subscribe, share, like, and comment on the show on YouTube. Follow any and all of my social media as well. All of the links are in the description. And finally, if you're a real fan, which most of you aren't, head on over to buymeacoffee.com, use the link in my description, and buy me a goddamn coffee. It supports the show, which is me. So you're supporting me. Now that you've successfully ignored that, go ahead and enjoy today's episode.
Hello, everybody. How are we doing? I hope we're doing well. I apologize right now for not having an episode for you absolute diehard animals who were waiting with bated breath, as you always are when I go ahead and fuck up one way or another, whether it be guest episodes not happening, making false promises of things like songs before the show starts, maybe not always getting a clip onto YouTube. But one thing that I have been pretty good about for a while is getting episodes out to you guys. Let me take a little bit of this here Powerade. Make the spit in my mouth even thicker so I can't talk to you. So the last time I was on here talking to you guys, I was sick as a motherfucker. You guys could hear it. The last few episodes I had been sick. I'm still a little sick. I'm trying to get over it. I feel like my nasal palate as well as my tongue have just swollen. And it's hard for me to talk. There's always gook in the back of, the nose and the throat, and it's a pain in the fucking ass, guys, and it was real shitty, but I tried fighting through it, getting episodes out to you. I did for a little bit, but last week, very funny, if you are on my Instagram, I put on my story that something, I think quoting it was funny and interesting, which is kind of a stupid mix. Anything interesting is good. But funny and interesting is, I said it was stupid. It's actually really good. That's a good thing. Funny and interesting. I don't know why I thought when I first said that, I thought that was dumb. Because that's like a pillar of how I perform stand-up. One that I gained from guys like Kinnison and Hicks and Carlin and all these guys. So forget what I said earlier. That was just a nonsense piece of verbiage that came out of my pie hole. I've been sick, and funny and interesting. That's what it was on my Instagram. Last week I got home from work. It was a Sunday night, like it is now for me right now. It was a Sunday night. And I sat down. Here. I got everything ready. And I was drinking a medicated tea that I got from the pharmacy. Now, this is how stupid I am. I went to the pharmacy, and I was looking for medication, like pill form, cold medication. And I didn't pay attention. And I just grabbed a box, which... when I was younger, that used to bother the fuck out of me. When I would ask my parents for something, or they would ask me for something, oh, do you want us to get you something from the store? Yeah, get me this. And they come back, and it's like the wrong kind. Like, could you guys get me some cereal? Could you get me Cinnamon Toast Crunch? And they just grab a box of some shit. It's like, here you go, this is Pops. That's an exaggeration. That didn't happen that way. It was when you get real specific. When you really think about it, it's a minor inconvenience when it happens in real life. And it's something that I guess I kind of grew out of. But I just remember when I was younger, it would bother me when I would ask for something or I was given an option to get something. And what I got in return, albeit something small and stupid anyway, and free, right? Don't forget that. Any bit of anger that you had as a kid about the food in your house or the clothes that you wore or any of that stuff, before you started paying for any of it, is just, it's null and void. That shit those emotions should be left there, right in that spot. I don't complain about a goddamn thing. So there's still things that I own that I don't pay for, that my family has paid for. My car. I am incredibly thankful for my car. My grandmother bought me that car when I was a senior in high school. Okay, and it still fucking works. It's great. This laptop, this was a gift when I was going to college. Okay, there's plenty of things that you can't, But everybody gets a little upset when you ask for the white cheddar Cheez-Its and Mom comes home with the original and you're like, what the fuck, Mom? Mom, why would you do something like this? I asked for strawberry frosted Pop-Tarts. These are the unfrosted. This is terrible. Oh, my God. Why'd you ever even have me? Why am I even alive right now? And those questions, those stay with you. Those feelings about being upset, you're like, oh, who gives a fuck? Whatever. At least we got food. When you get older, right, and you pay for it, you're like, and it's on you when you get older if you fuck up. But, those questions that you ask, why am I here? Why did you have me? Those will haunt you forever. Don't get that part twisted. That will be there for a long time. It's just that when you were a kid, they were triggered in very adolescent ways, very easy, primitive ways, right? Mom didn't let you take the car out so you could drive around with your buddies and go bowling or something, or watch a movie or some shit and come home at 10 o'clock. She said, no, not tonight. So now you hate your life. Why am I alive? I'm going to fucking kill myself. Yeah. And then that turns on to later on in life. You're married. The life that you live isn't exactly, or you have the remnants of a later, of a previous life, one that you gave up on for the one that you have now. And it didn't really do much for you. It didn't fulfill you in the way that you thought. And you kind of wish that you stuck with whatever it was before that now has resorted to a sad time capsule that you keep in a box in the garage. And every year when you're pulling out Christmas decorations or some other decorations that you're being forced to put up and will also be forced to take down, both in the cold, you go past that box. And every once in a while you open it and you say, man, I used to love playing the fucking bongos. And those were all my bongo kids. Look at all the percussion I have in that box. The big box of percussion. You love playing the percussion. Used to be in a ska band. And those guys actually went on and became professional musicians. And you were the only one that stopped. Or not even professional. You see them every once in a while. They tell you about their adventures. They maybe they have a partner that goes with them and they're in love, but they get to do what they want. Whatever, right? But now you have to look past that box. You can barely open it without choking up. You look past it, and you put up the Christmas lights, and you go in the house, and then it kind of lingers in your head that you saw that box. You hadn't seen it in a year. You almost forgot about it. And then you look in the mirror, and you ask yourself those same questions that you had when you were a kid. But you see that it's a much more mature look when you get older. Much more mature. It's about other things. It's about the choices you had made. You had a lot more to look back on. But when you're 15 and 14 and your mom comes home with the wrong waffles, you're like, what the fuck? I want to put a gun in my mouth. I hate this. But those feelings of angst or whatever that you have because it was the wrong thing, that kind of goes away, right? The wrong thing. Well, I mean, the wrong snack. Snacks aren't a problem anymore. It's still the wrong thing. Right, that other scenario I played out, you did the wrong thing, supposedly in your head or in a part of your head, But all of that, to go back to, I went to the store and grabbed what I thought was cold medication, and I grabbed the box, and I'm like, wow, this is cheap. It was like $6, maybe a little more, $7. And I brought it up to the counter. Didn't even look at it. Didn't even look. All I saw was cold and flu. Grabbed it. Fucking beeped it. Came home, ripped open the box, and it was a bunch of packets of like fucking Crystal Light. And I opened it up, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I read the box, and I'm like, oh, my God. It's a tea. It was like a tea. It was like a medicated tea. You put it in cold water. You stir it around. You put it in the microwave. You pull it out nice and warm. It doesn't taste bad. It's like citrusy, right? It's a very citrusy kind of drink. And honestly, I would recommend it if you're a little cold, or if you're catching a cold and your throat's bothering you. I'd recommend something like this. It was actually very nice. The thing that I was very angry about when I figured out that it was the wrong thing. Because I opened up the box, it was a bunch of Crystal Light things, and I was heated. I threw them. I was like, motherfucker, because I had been going for a while, just sick, just murderously sick. And I ran out of meds, and I'm like, I'm finally going to get meds again, medication, whatever. I know it sounds worse when I say meds. And I'm like, yes, finally, grabbed it. I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I'm going all over the place. And I had been putting off getting the medication, and I'm like, this is fucking terrible. And then I opened it up, and I'm like, fuck, and I threw them. And then I took it, and I was like, this is good. But what had happened was the first time I drank it, I didn't follow the directions. I drank it at my own pace. I sipped on it like a cup of coffee. But what it says you're supposed to do is drink it in 10 to 15 minutes. Drink the whole thing in 10 to 15 minutes. That's why you can't get it super hot. They don't want you to use boiling water. You just put it in the microwave. Great product, guys. Very happy, actually, with it. But when I drank it the first time, I remember it soothing my throat. But I didn't understand why it was called nighttime, whatever it is. Nighttime something. And the next time I drank it was last Sunday, right? Fast forward to rewind to a week ago on Sunday. I come home, I'm still sick as shit. I finished work. I'm like, all right, we got to get an episode out for Monday. This is going to be good to go. Is this how it happened? Was it Monday? No. We got an episode out for Monday last week. It was Thursday. We didn't get a Thursday episode out because I got out of work on Wednesday. Here we go. Fix the other part of that shit was all fine. The timeline is good. It was Wednesday when I sat down to record. I sat down to record on Wednesday. We needed an episode for Thursday. Apologize for that little mess up. I smoke a lot of weed. I drink alcohol. I go bananas. I sleep like shit because I'm sick. So just bear with me, guys. I also worked all day talking to people, dealing with motherfuckers. And I got a little story about that later, too. So it's Wednesday. I'm tired. I worked. I'm sick feeling it, but I'm ready. For whatever reason, I'm motivated to do the podcast. I'm motivated to do other shit after the podcast. I had this whole plan for the rest of the night. It was going to be great. I was going to get after it and hopefully sleep like a baby. So I sat down. I got together what I wanted to talk about, and I put this. I got the tea going, right? I got the tea, and I sat down, and this time I followed the directions. 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, maybe it'll work better. I drank the thing in about 10 minutes. About 5 minutes after that, I immediately started to get drowsy. Like out of nowhere. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I didn't realize it was the tea at all, guys. I was just so tired. Like it was exactly what I needed. Not in that moment, but like I was saying, leading up to this moment, I was very sick and not feeling A1, sleeping like shit, and I needed something that would put me to sleep and soothe my throat and kind of whatever. And this was exactly the perfect product, and I'm happy that I got it. However, it knocked me the fuck out, guys. It really did. I was sitting here, and I was like, oh, I need to put an episode out, but I actually cannot. If I start recording right now, it is going to sound so fucking bad. It's not going to sound good at all. I don't even want to bother with it. So that's what happened. Now, some other things that happened last week. Tuesday, I was supposed to record. I'm sorry. Wednesday afternoon I was supposed to record, but I had to work, something that wasn't my fault. It was a very stupid situation, one that I should have cleared up a little better in regards to work. It doesn't matter what it is. I ended up having to work Wednesday afternoon. I was supposed to have a guest on, actually. Someone in person, someone who's been on the show before, and someone who hopefully, fingers crossed, will actually make an appearance on Thursday. That's what we're hoping for. Nonetheless, that was supposed to happen. That got scrapped because I had to work Wednesday. So, shitty situation there. And then Thursday, because I have done it where I put out episodes the day of. It's not my favorite thing to do. I want to get it out in the morning. But especially if I'm putting episodes out during the week, Monday and Thursday, right? People want to go out or people are waking up and going the fuck to work. So we need shit in the morning, man, while we're on the way to work. So anyway, Thursday I couldn't because I had already made plans to go to New York. Yes, baby, New York. This was a much-needed trip, guys. This was a much-needed trip. This was something I needed to do, and I didn't realize I needed it until I went and did it. I make a lot of fun. I really, really lean into modern American culture as we get into the holidays, right? It's a lot. That's a big theme of the show anyway, right? But even before it was the theme of the show, when I was still having guests back when I was in Providence, it was still part of my satire, part of my jokes. And especially when it came to the holidays, because there's so much to make fun of. From my perspective, guys, there is so much to make fun of about the holidays, whether it's because it's, for one reason or another. For one reason or another, we've built rituals that we couple with spending a lot of money. And, marketing corporations and marketing and all these fucking grimy organizations that are free to do whatever they want. Don't get me wrong. This is a free enterprise and a free country, a free world, of course. Everyone can make a buck. But there is no doubt that there is a massive level of consumerism that is built into the last 4 months of the year. The last 4 months of the year, you are being told to spend money. You're being told every day to spend money. Get money fucking flowing. That's why you make a lot of money around that time, right? That's why there's a lot of shit going on. There's money flowing during the holidays. The holidays are a massive economic period. The fourth quarter of the year is a massive economic period. Okay, people, there is just money going around. People are spending money on things. People are going out. Business is a booming during this time. And it's easy to see. It's incredibly easy to see. There's deals. There's fucking, a societal pressure to go with what's going on. Everybody is taking a fucking break. Everybody's taking a break once it hits Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving to the end of the year, that's it. Okay? And which brings me to my next point of how much fun I make of the week of Thanksgiving. How pointed I am in that, because that is the greatest display of American gluttony and consumerism, and just the spoils of a massive empire built off of tons and tons of bloodshed, deception, and other bad things. Now, you guys probably hear me make fun of this stuff, and you think, oh my God, Antonio's he's so out there with some of this stuff, man. He's so crazy. He must not enjoy anything. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't believe in anything. He doesn't care. And to a degree, you might be right. Okay, to a degree, you might be a-okay on that assessment of me. However, I am a human. I am, at least part human. I am subject to following the herd sometimes. I am subject to that. And as you become an adult, I feel like it's a lot easier to become subject of the herd. That's why you become an adult. And here's an example. Your body starts to slowly, it becomes harder to maintain a physique that at one point you thought was much easier, right? When you're 21, very easy to stay in shape because most of your life you can focus on that. It's very easy, and your body is very young. It recovers fast. You can put it under stress more often, the whole thing. Let alone if you're doing it the right way, But you fast forward to 28, right? And you're still young, relatively. You're still in your 20s. You're in your late 20s, but you're still young. But now, if you want to have that six-pack that you had when you were younger, it's much harder. A lot more choices you have to make, a lot more decisions you have to make, a lot more deliberate with your actions you have to be. Now, again, you don't need me to tell you this, but things grow easier as technology advances. Modernity comes in. Life is much easier in a lot of different facets. So that, in turn, creates a desire it creates aversion to being uncomfortable. There's a brace for everything. There's an app for everything. There's a pill for everything. There's a substance, a mode of compensation that you can do to lower your to lower your uncomfortable situations, right? You don't need to be uncomfortable. It's unnecessary these days. People try as hard to be as comfortable as they fucking can. So in turn, you get fatter. There's a very long, convoluted way to get to you get fatter. That's why people get heavier, because it's harder to maintain a physique, and people say, it's okay. That's why that's an example of, and your body, you grow, and there's scientific and chemical reasons that happen, but it's or that can be pointed to, but that just adds to my initial argument of it just being harder to stay in a certain kind of shape, which leads to people getting fat, which explains why the herd thing. People can get caught up in the herd. That's why I said that's an example. Now, what I'm talking about, back to the week of Thanksgiving, and something I spoke about with Kevin while I was with him in New York. We both were talking to each other about this. How that week just fucks everything up, man. It fucks everything up because you're almost at the finish line, right? You're almost at the finish line. The finish line is literally the week after. That's pretty much the finish line. You don't need to look at New Year's as the finish line. That's the finish line. New Year's is just the start of the next race. Okay, the month of December and the last, the last couple days of November. That's the gathering for the next race. Okay, everyone parties, whatever. Okay, we're almost there. The last few days of December, and it's a big blow up, and then boom, back to the gunshot goes off. Gunshot goes off on December 31st. Bang, and then at midnight, it's the beginning of the new race. Here we go, time to run. But the finish line is the Monday. You could even say Cyber Monday. It's Tuesday. That's the finish line. After that week, because that just gets people to fuck off for the rest of the year. And it sucks. It really does suck because that's roughly 5 weeks, almost 5 weeks, 4.5 weeks of shit that you could be doing. It's not a time to slack, right? And this is something I try to talk about, and it's something that I try to live. But I can't lie to you. A couple days after, or whatever, the week after Thanksgiving, I got sick, and I slacked like a motherfucker. I slacked not only because I got sick, but also because I had a lot of fun the week before. Did a bunch of crazy shit all week, slept like shit, but had fun, ate like a fat pig, hung out, whatever. And when you do that, you want that feeling to keep going. That's what we call addiction. That's why people go out and party. That's why people go out and do that shit. You want to keep the party rolling. When I went to Rolling Loud and I came back, I was like, fuck, dude, that was 4 days of just mayhem and fun. Just fun, entire fun, total and complete fun for fucking 24 hours for 4 days. Just great fucking time, good. And then you come home and you're like, I got class tomorrow. This is when I was in college. I got class. I got to deal with this. I got to do that, whatever, right? It sucks. I got work. You want to keep that fucking party rolling. Plus all the time off. For some people, they take the whole fucking week off. And for someone like me who works part-time, right? I already don't work much, if you're talking about at Mohegan Sun. I already only work, 3 days a week? And I'm able to support myself. That's some good money. I used to bitch about the money. But anyway, eat your words, Antonio, you son of a bitch. You ended up liking the place a little bit. But even though I didn't have to work much, I knew that all my friends were off. So I'm like, fuck yeah, I got friends coming out of state, whatever. So I fed into it. And then I get sick. So I get sidelined from the gym for another however many days because I didn't work out at all Thanksgiving week. I'm like, yeah, fuck it. You already make up your mind, God damn it. Forget the end of Thanksgiving week. It's the beginning of Thanksgiving week because you take that week off. You take the week off. And I'm not going to go again. You've heard me beat that topic to death. And I hope next year I kind of get past it and can talk about something else. And even right now, I hope I can get past it. But again, long, pretentious way of getting to the point that I fell into that shit. I fell into it. And, it's between that and getting sick, it's just been harder to get things done. And I mean everything, guys. I don't just mean the podcast. I mean, comedy. Comedy even. Which leads me to why going to New York was a big deal and why I needed it. I've been doing comedy for a little over a year, right? Faithfully. A year and, 4 months? Wow. See, when you do it so fucking often, you don't even pay attention. But a year and 4 months, okay? Faithfully. And I've been hitting it really hard since April, since I moved here. Pretty much, because I realized it's the only thing I fucking have. So I've been really, really hammering it steadily for a while. What's that, 8 months? Okay, 7-8 months. So it's been good. It's been very good. Coming to Connecticut has made me better as a comedian. It's made me better as a person. I know I've been bitching about it the whole time, but we're getting closer and closer to not being here anymore. Really, I'm going to be starting to make arrangements in February because March is already paid for. The month of March is already paid for. So if I can pay for the month of February 2 weeks in, that would be good because then I can just quit my job and focus on getting out to New York. But what was I getting at here? Reflecting on my time. Oh, comedy out here. It's been very good meeting people. I haven't really made a ton of connections, I guess, if you want to say. Like, I've met people. I've gotten nice with them. I feel like I got connections in Rhode Island amongst my peers, but over here, not so much. They're nice, they're welcoming, they're very funny. A lot of the comics out here are very funny. Connecticut's just a shitty state, guys. It just sucks. Connecticut just sucks. The comics are good, the comedy's funny, but every scene here blows. Every scene. There's barely the independent art, like the art scene in these places suck. Like there's no real, I don't know. It just seems like a big commercialized fucking train track highway transportation state. It looks like a big, when I think of Connecticut, I think of transportation. I think of transportation because there's train tracks everywhere. There's highways. You can't get anywhere without a highway or a big, massive main road. Whether it's an interstate highway with 3 lanes or a 2-lane highway in a town or a fucking long-ass single road, there's no, and it's fine, whatever. I don't even know what I'm really complaining about here. But there's that shit. And then you got bridges like a motherfucker. And you look out in the bridges and it's all oil rigs and boats and tanker fucking boats. And if not, it's like small marinas with rich fucking golfing yuppies who have a bunch of boats for themselves. You know what I'm saying? On lakes and whatever. And the lakes are nice and the water's nice and whatever. It might look nice and it's cool. But I think of transportation. I think of train stations and train tracks. You can't go anywhere without seeing train tracks in this fucking state. They love trains in this state. This state is like the fucking Wild West when it comes to the amount of train tracks that they have around this motherfucker. It's insane. The highway, there's 1,000 exits. It's a garbage pass-through state, and it reflects that, like the scenes of everything. When I say scenes, I mean like the food scene. Sucks. There's not much. I mean, there's Mystic Village. I'm sure there's some trendy little restaurants downtown and places, but when it comes to food, I mean, you're not fucking with me with food from where I come from. Providence is known for having a phenomenal food fucking scene. Johnston, Wales is there. They have tons of pop-ups and tons of different backgrounds and cultures that live in that fucking state. And there's geography is very different. We have phenomenal seafood. There's tons of shit when it comes to food over here. And then even Boston is way better. Connecticut, I don't know, man. I can't say I've had much seafood out here. I haven't cared to. Nobody talks about the seafood. Mystic Connecticut, there's like some nice little seafood, but and there's places on the water and there's the whole thing. And I haven't really gone for the seafood because every time I look out, anytime I'm driving, I look out into the ocean where they would be catching these fish, and there's a General Dynamics building. There's an electric boat building. There's a crane. There's gravel piles sticking out of the water, monstrous man-made gravel piles. There's a ferry coming in. There's a train riding by. How am I supposed to look at that and say, I'd like a crab cake? How about a boiled dinner? Get me some Little Necks this instant. How am I supposed to look out at that? I go to a beach. I went to Ocean Beach Park over here. Ocean Beach Park in New London, Connecticut. If you're in the area or, anywhere, right? Anywhere in the fucking world. Ocean Beach Park. I went there once or twice. I rode my bike there. One time I went on the beach to do sprints when I was a fucking fatso. Now I lost a little bit of weight, but when I was a real fatso, when I first moved here, when I was stress eating fucking Burger King every night, I went on that beach like a fat pig and did sprints. And I went there, and it was a beautiful fucking day. It was hot like a motherfucker all day. I got out of work early, and I went there while there was still daylight and it was still warm, and the place was packed. And you want to know what else was packed of? Garbage and shit and rubbish and plastic and fucking just trash all over the beach. I'm supposed to look at that and then go to the stand and ask for a fucking fish and chip? That's what I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to look at that and go ask for a bowl of chowder and 6 clam cakes and sit on the dock of the bay and look at the fucking trash. That's what I'm supposed to do. So, no, the food out here sucks. The entertainment sucks. Okay? The club scene is non-existent. Like the nightlife, I should say. Nightlife, dog shit. People who grew up in Connecticut, live in Connecticut, and don't want to leave Connecticut probably have some of the dullest lives or some of the wildest. There's no in between. You're either very dull or you're very wild. And it's mainly because there's nothing to do out here. It sucks. It sucks. It's, the art scene, and that bleeds into, I don't want to say that the comedy scene's bad out here. I've only been out here for 8 months or whatever. I don't know the ins and outs of it. I've met people. I've been nice with people. I don't know how grimy they are or how whatever the situations are. I'm just a newbie who comes in and tries to do open mics and get laughs and more or less meet people and try to get booked on shows. Hopefully I'm funny, they like me, and try to get booked on shows and work on material. I don't know anything else about anything else, but I can't imagine someone gaining any kind of recognition staying in this state for doing anything other than I don't know, running for office maybe. Running for office. You can run for office here. You could be a lawyer. You could be a fucking work on a railroad. Do that. Work on a railroad. Why not that? That might be one of the most prestigious things that you could do in this fucking dog shit Passover state that should be burnt to the ground and or become a. What's that sound? Sorry, I heard a weird sound. There's a ghost in the house. Sorry guys, this Powerade flavor is just so good. Watermelon berry, I got it and was like, what the fuck? This was another situation where I didn't pay attention to what I grabbed. I came home and I grabbed it and whatever the fuck. But I will be very grateful for what has happened here, and it's not over yet. I'm not trying to look past it. I'm not trying to, project past what's happening next, because anything could happen, right? Anything could happen. The worst thing that could happen for me is having to move back home. Especially with my family. That would be even worse. I don't think I would get anything done. Things would be bad, okay? Things would be bad. I don't know what I'd do for work. I wouldn't feel myself. So that's not what I'm trying to do. I'd rather suffer here. That's a better case scenario than going back home. Even moving back home in my own apartment in Providence, no. I don't want to do that either. I would still rather stay out here, hating every second of it. Maybe not stay out here in New London, but, if I can't get to New York, then there's other places in mind. I've brought them up on here. I would like a reason to go down there and see what it's like. But it seems like most of my efforts are going to be moving to New York City. What was the whole point of all this? Oh, to explain. I'm sorry, guys. You can tell after missing a day of not doing this how shabby I am, because I haven't recorded an episode since last Sunday, probably. My train of thought is all fucked up. It's late right now as well. It's 10 o'clock at night. Actually, it's close to 11 now. You get rusty on things, obviously, and you can tell that I am. But I needed to go to New York because, like I said, I slacked on the scene out here. I slacked on going to comedy. I slacked on everything. The gym, the comedy, I was sick, whatever. Excuses, explanations, whatever the fuck you want to call them. I needed to get back in the groove of things, because what happens is when you start fucking up, you get very used to it because it's very comfortable. I don't need to go out and do sets. What do I got to do sets? And then now I'm sitting there and I'm like, wait a second. I'm talking myself out of going to do comedy. Am I fucking stupid? I'm talking myself out of, doing the things that I need to do. To get podcasts up in that time was like I was dreading it, right? Even to get this one up today, I was like, oh, if this is going to be a tough one. Mainly because I was nervous. I missed one, and I haven't done one in a week. So, it came out strange. I think this $100 foot tattoo that I paid money for is peeling off of my foot, which is nice. Very happy for something like that. But I needed to go out to New York, so I took the day out. I didn't work, but I took the day, and I woke up early, not early enough. But I woke up early. I got to New Haven, and then I took, I think it was like not 8 o'clock. I don't know what time it was. No, it had to have been, because I got there at like 10. I think I took the 8:40, and I got there around 11 o'clock, and then I was able to bang out 3 spots on Thursday. And going from 4 spots in a week, which is pretty standard, but I did 3 spots the week before, so 2 weeks ago, but I only went once. I went out on Monday and I banged out 3 spots, but a bunch of shit happened and whatever the case was, and I was sick, pussy, whatever. I didn't do shit the rest of the week, and then last Thursday I was able to get 3 spots in a day in New York, which felt really good. And it was promising because like I said, I went over a week without doing any comedy. Closer to 2 weeks, really, without doing any comedy and not feeling like doing any comedy. And then I went and did that. So it was very much needed. I'm happy I went. And then, of course, I stayed over, had some adult beverages with Kevin, stayed up late, and then headed home. But it felt really good to be there. Last time I was there, I was a little uneasy about it. I felt weird. I was like, I don't. But this time I was there, I felt good, man. It was a great time. It was very forward-looking, and it made me happy. I'll say that right here. I know you guys think that I can't feel happiness, but I did feel very good because I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Not only because I'm leaving Connecticut and I'm getting that much closer to moving somewhere else. But I'm also thankful for what happened, right? And thankful for this whole time here in Connecticut and the whole thing forcing me to level up as a person and man up about the things that I really want to fucking do. And it really got me thinking, guys. It really got me thinking. This whole period of time got me thinking. I love this podcast. I want you guys to know that I think about this podcast all the fucking time. I think about wanting to get it better. I think about where I'm going wrong. I think about how I can fix it. And I think I have a good idea of what I want to do with this show. And it's going to take time. It's going to take time, and it's going to take time away from you guys. Here's the big drop on the show, okay? Here's the big drop on the show. What time? We're at, 43 seconds or something. Okay, 44 seconds, we'll say. This is the time that I don't think I'm going to say something that I don't think I was planning on saying, and something that I don't think you guys were expecting me to say. After this month, the Smoking Simian will be taking a hiatus until I move. Or until, we'll say April. Until April, sometime in April, not exactly positive yet, we're going to be taking a break from the show. Now, what does that mean? We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We still have at least 6 episodes, right? I say at least. I might get a little froggy. do a little extra stuff. We'll see. But we have some time, right? We have some time. Maybe I'll do some extra stuff, whether it be an update every, for the next few months, or I'll record some archive episodes, some short ones or something that I can release out, just to give you guys a little something. But mainly, guys, I've been doing this podcast a little over 2 years, right? 2 years and 4 months. Funny how or almost 4 months. Funny how we get back on that. But I think this is a good time to revamp the show. Figure out how we can make things happen with the show. And the gears are already turning. And mainly why I think this is a good time to do it is we have some data. Right? There's over 250 episodes. Okay, by the end of the year, I think we'll be at a little over 260 or around 260, right? And we're going to stop on that for a few months. And in that time, I'm going to be overlooking the things that work, right? Going over the things that work or have worked, going over the things that have not worked, and figuring out how to keep doing the first ones, how to enhance them, and keep doing them, and the things that are working as well, figure out how we can fix those and chip away at them as best we can. Now, again, we have episodes for the rest of the month. We are taking a hiatus. We're taking a time, and what's going to happen is the next time you guys see me, the quality of the show in terms of technical production is going to be much better. Okay, I think that's one of the areas that can be cleared up just solely on money, solely on an investment of money, which right now is going to be on a credit card. But we have to get that credit card paid off. That's also part of why I want to take a break from the show, because I really want to get new equipment. I want to get new stuff. I have a whole bunch of questions that I need to find answers for, right? How to market the show in a different way. How do they get the words on Instagram to be unique and a certain font? Do I have to outsource that kind of thing? How do I get portrait mode? How do I do all this? There's all these questions that I have that I can better get some, I can get some knowledge on. And again, the key part to all this is being patient over these last couple years, so that not only I could hone the craft of the show and really get an idea of what I want for the show to be, which has, of course, changed. And now I'm just letting you guys know that this current format is mostly what I'm going to be running with. Guests every once in a while, but mostly just me being funny, satirizing, talking about life, talking from the heart, doing whatever. But mostly trying to be funny, making this a funny show with guests from time to time. And I want the quality to be better. I want the production to be better. I want everything just to be revamped. That's mainly what it is. Now, the other part of what it is something I can't deny. Now, you just heard me talk about how it was tough for me to do the show, and it's been tough for me to, and that's come from just a couple of weeks, right? Just a couple of weeks of slacking. But when I really think about it and get deep into it, there's a part of me that feels that a break will be a great idea. Mainly from a creative standpoint. I think a break will be good because I can, it gives me some time to take a step back. Because, guys, this is something that I have been hitting hard for 2 years, and it's documented. This is actually documented. This is something that I've really been going after, and I want to continue going after. And I think that this break will be necessary because after this break, there's the sky's the limit because the I'm gonna do it in a way that maybe should have been done. Maybe it should have been done this way from the beginning, but I didn't know. I didn't know then. That's kind of what happens, right? You jump into something, you learn later on. And it's good because it wasn't that long. It's only been 2 years. 2 years and a ton of effort, which is fine. I got effort for days. Years, actually. But on toast, no. I feel like the break's going to be good. I feel like the time away is going to be good. But the most important part is doing it the right way now. This is going to be like a big reset. A big reset. It's going to give me an opportunity to build up an archive like you're supposed to do. It's going to give me the opportunity to do the right research. When I got this thing started, guys, in August 2020, I bought this. I don't know if you can see it. This garbage gray microphone that looks like it's starting to rust, if I'm being honest. This gray microphone from Wish.com. Piece of shit. I ended up buying 3 more of the same one, but that one is the worst one. That's why it's on the 4th jack, because I rarely have a 4th person on here. But even when I had the big table. But I didn't. I started off very innocently. I bought it. I bought the mic without any knowledge of what the fuck I was going to do. Didn't know what I was going to do with it. I bought the, I knew I had GarageBand. I knew I had the whole thing. And then I ended up buying more microphones. And then I bought a second microphone. And then 2 microphones became 4 microphones. Then I realized you couldn't have 4 microphones with the setup. I needed to buy a microphone switcher. And then I wanted to do video after so many months, from August to like the end of December. I was only audio. Then I'm like, all right, we got to get some video. So I bought 2 shitty cameras. I bought 4 shitty cameras, actually, and 2 of them I had to send back because they were the same brand, same off-brand pieces of shit, but they had different colors when you filmed them, and they were both on the default setting. One was very yellow, one looked normal. So I had to send those back. A lot of sending back and buying things, trips to Best Buy, buying all kinds of wires, learning about the types of wires. And then you got to buy a camera switcher so you can switch while that's going on. And we got to find a good setup so it looks aesthetically pleasing. And then we move, and we got to get a bigger table. And the table looks, fantastic, and the room is nice. And we got, chairs, and now there's a real aesthetic. And then, boom, life changes again. Break up with my girlfriend. I move out of state. Now I'm alone. Show takes on a complete new identity, and then now we've been doing that for about 8 months, and we're here. Okay, it's been an absolute fucking whirlwind. Okay, the show started off as an innocent fucking endeavor, almost a coping mechanism for a fucking antisocial sick son of a bitch who, for whatever reason, got his nuts again and wanted to try doing something that he, for whatever reason, feels that he can do, which is still kind of that now. But there was a motivational aspect and an educational aspect and then an aspect of guests. And then that switched into the guest thing got bigger and I was getting better guests. And then the comedy started to peek through. And then now it's very straightforward, satirical, hour, twice a week, just me, giving everything I fucking got on this thing and working as hard as I can. But for those of you who listen to the show and those of you who've been paying attention to the show, you can tell that I haven't made much of a wave. And I'm fine with that. I understand that. That's why I'm willing to do this, because I know that this show can only get better. It can only get better. That's the thing. It can only get better, guys. And I can only have more and more episodes, and it can only get better from that. I can only get funnier. The production can only get better because I have 720p, guys. These microphones were $40. I'm sitting at a desk on a fucking whatever chair. You can't even see my Simian poster. You know? There's a bunch of shit that can get fixed. And right now, the main thing is for me to clear that fucking credit card, do tons and tons of research, not only on equipment, but on marketing of the show. And just getting better, coming up with better ideas on my own as far as the show goes, reaching out to other podcasters, just trying to grow the fucking thing, really trying to grow the fucking thing. And that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. And again, that's starting a while from now. That's, 3 fucking weeks, guys. We got 3 weeks to fuck around, okay? 3 more weeks to fuck around. You follow. Don't cry. Don't cry just yet, because when I come back, this show is going to be A1. It's going to be very fucking good. It's already very fucking good. But the production of it, the things that can be improved, and there's plenty that can be improved, are going to be improved. And it's exciting. It's exciting. There's a lot of changes that are going to be happening after this month. A lot of things, gears are going to start turning after this month. This is the last of the fucking Mohicans at Mohegan as well. And that's it, and that's that, motherfuckers. I needed to drop that bomb on you. It's going to be strange not talking to myself twice a week, after this. And, there's plenty part of me that's like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? You got to keep plugging away. And, yeah, maybe that makes sense. But the whole argument that I have here is that this break is going to give me a chance to revamp the show, and it'll come out in a way that's almost like, wow, this is new, right? It's like a new thing. Everything looks better. The production, the content is something that I can work on. And I know that there are some episodes that are funnier than others. That's with every fucking podcast, especially when you're doing it as often as this. You listen to a fucking Joe Rogan podcast, and he's had so many now that you can listen to a guest on 2 or 3 different episodes and like, if you listen to him on 3 episodes, you're like, I like those first 2, but that third one sucks, right? Or it could be a bunch of different guests, and you're like, wow, that person had a really interesting outlook, and I didn't expect that from them, and whatever. And I hope that can be kind of the same thing with, a show like this, a solo show. You listen to Bill Burr, you listen to Tim Dillon, very funny, incredibly talented, obviously goes without saying, way better than I am. 1,000 light years ahead, of course. I don't even have any business mentioning their names next to mine at all, but they have episodes where they're funnier, and they have some where they're not as funny. So it's the content thing is on me. It's all part of me growing as, I guess, an artist and a podcaster, in the same way I'm growing on stage and getting better as a comedian and learning how the fucking craft work is the same way that I'm doing it on here. And I feel like I just need to just focus on not doing the content and doing the comeuppance, the repicturing, the rebranding. We're going to still have the same gorilla, the same thing. Don't worry about it, but it's going to be different, guys. That's all I'm going to say. And we're going to wrap this fucking show up, guys. This episode was kind of a big catch-up session. I guess we can call it Speak from the Heart. How about that? Nice little heart-warming episode for you. Don't get too comfortable, because we're going to be back to lots of fun. Not that this one wasn't fun, but we're going to be back to lots of fun for the rest of the month. And that'll be it. We're closing this year out with a motherfucking bang, you crazy bastards. So thank you so much for listening, and we're going to keep it pushing. Dates, I got one show January 5th Mohegan Sun, 10 p.m., Comics Roadhouse, Thirsty Thursday, motherfucker. Frank Margallo, thank you very much. He's putting the show together, hosted by Pat Oates, very funny. And that's it, motherfuckers. Thank you all for listening. Talk to you on Thursday. Peace.
Oh, me again. Follow the show, subscribe on the YouTube, buy me a coffee, use the links. Bye-bye.